Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Nigerian News Direct. The major headline here says, PDP crisis, I have accepted Atiku Okowa, but Ayu must go, Wike insists. But boycotts party campaign in Kaduna, says accepting Ayu to resign after election is foolish. That's the story you find on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. We move now to the front page of the Daily Times. Alleged terrorism, appeal court frees Kanu. Alleged terrorism, appeal court frees Kanu. All of the details on the front page of the Daily Times. And to the front page of this Nigerian newspaper now. Not guilty, not free. Despite the Court of Appeal ruling on Kanu, Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, says the federal government will consider pre-rendition option. Acquittal, too complex for human understanding, Ozekome. You find all of the details on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. And to the front page of the Blueprint, treasonable felony trial. Court frees Kanu, says arrest, trial, executive recklessness. Government violated local international laws on Kanu's extradition. Federal government to explore available options. The Attorney General of the Federation responding there. That's on the front page of the Blueprint. We move now to the Punch newspaper. Nnamdi Kanu jubilation in Southeast. Federal government may appeal judgment. Court says IPOB leaders' abduction unlawful. Slams executive for recklessness. I love the details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And to the First News newspaper now. Terrorism, Southeast erupts in jubilation over IPOB leaders' discharge. Nnamdi Kanu's acquittal too complex for human understanding. Ozekome speaking there. All right. To the front page of the Daily Trust now, talking about insecurity in the country. It says banditry, Kaduna safer after military bombardment. Erufai, the governor, speaking. Military doing what we've been yearning for. You find the details on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. And to the Nation newspaper now, Amotekun Corps, others can't tackle banditry, says Erufai. It's simplistic way of fighting bandits. Or Tom, our people have final say on kitting outfits with AK-47. All right, you find this detail on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And to the Leadership newspaper now, as out-of-school children scourge worsens, Nigeria risks losing out on literate skilled workforce. Nigeria risks losing out on literate skilled workforce. All of the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And to the front page of the Business Day now, Nigeria's Eurobond hit after Finance Minister's debt revamp comment. Nigeria's Eurobond hit after Finance Minister's debt revamp comment. You find the details on the front page of the Business Day. And finally, on the front page of Nature News, Dangote Refinery at 97% completion, NMDPRA speaking there. But climate change, 830 million people to go hungry worldwide. That's the UN report, a focus on the front page of the Nature News newspaper. All right, Sam, let's quickly look at this matter. Just yesterday, an appeals court said that Nnamdi Kanu's case, with regards to the fact that the federal government did not, address the matter of his rendition to the country in terms of either the positive or negative or otherwise, that was what brought merit to its decision, to somewhat acquit Nnamdi Kanu of this matter. But the federal government, in a swift response, has said that Nnamdi Kanu still has cases to answer, that the pre-rendition matters are still on. And so it is weighing its legal options to know how to move from here?
I think what has happened here is a clear case of bringing the guy into the country and making sure that it does not cause trouble while he's in trouble. It's a Machiavellian move to violate all international protocol, to spirit the fellow out of where he was outside the country into the country. That being said, it is clear that on a legal basis, the justice was saying that the issue here is whether you are right to detain this guy or not. It's not whether the guy was subversive of the country. It's not whether it was trying to divide the country. It's not whether it was causing mayhem in the East and trying to disturb the peace of the land. It's saying that the basis of his detention itself is wrong.
Yeah.
So we cannot deal with the issue of his subversiveness without handling the issue of his detention, because that is the matter before the court. The rendition issue still remains.
Treasonable felony.
Yes, that's a treasonable felony. Those issues are quite intimidating. But the point is that you can destroy a good case with a bad approach.
Right.
But the federal government may not see it as a bad approach because the guy was out of the country. And there was no way you could get him to really sit down and really face the court case. So that is it was a dilemma that the federal government had to face. So you either have him out of the country and not get him to answer these charges, or wait to lose in case in order to win later. You know, so that is probably the strategy of the government. Now the question is, having gotten to this stage, are they going to appeal so that they still keep him in detention? It's a way of still postponing the evil day, because you still have to answer the issue of violating international protocol.
Absolutely.
Which is that you forced somebody out of the country and you spirited him away from there and now landed him in jail, which is fundamental human rights. Now some people will say, what is fundamental human rights of one man? You know, that you took him there, you've taken him there, you put him behind bars, but this man has caused tens and tens of deaths, has caused disruptions in activities in the East and parts of the country. He has undermined the stability of this country, and so on. Some people say, why is this so? Well, that is the law.
Yes.
As we see it, that is the law, that you have to follow procedures and all of that. Now, the question is, if the federal government is not going to move for that to the Supreme Court, what is the federal government going to do? Are they going to release him? What are going to be the terms of his release? What are going to be the terms of engagement with him if he is released? Those are some of the questions they are going to answer.
But are you certain that the government will want to do that part? Recall that he actually jumped bail. There were terms given to him before he even jumped bail.
Exactly.
So will the government want to go in that path?
Those are the questions. What are going to be the terms of his release? Are they going to release him and put him under house arrest?
Which was similar to what happened in the first place.
In the first place, but he escaped.
Yes.
Are they going to look for a clever way to release him and not release him? You know, to give the impression that, well, he's really, we are not asking you not to leave, but you can't leave.
Yes.
You know that kind of situation, the kind of catch-22 situation for him. Yeah. Are they going to do that? Then there's also the political
undertone.
The political firestorm that his release can cause. You know, in politics now, many people, including yours truly, believe that many of his supporters haven't seen that the man was locked outside and was in abeyance, have moved to a candidate now and moved some of their grievances across to one of the candidates. And they're now trying to say, now that this man is going to be released, what is going to happen? Are they going to are his followers going to have identity problem?
Right.
Identity crisis. Are we for Kanu? Are we for Obi? Are they going to have identity crisis? Is he going to come out and say look, all of you, my followers, who have been following that man that I don't like, come back to me. Don't follow him. Or is he going to?
Question a lot of Nigerians are asking yesterday.
Is he going to? I didn't even know that. Is he going to say, all of you come back home? All ye that are labored and heavy lady, come back, and I will give you rest. Come here. Or is he going to say, come here from among them and be ye separate? Don't touch that unclean thing.
Right.
Is he going to say that? Or is he going to just keep quiet? And for a man who has been known to be very, very tempestuous in his rhetoric, it will be very interesting to see what will happen in the coming weeks. The government may say that, well, I'm anticipating all of this. I want to, maybe they want to say, okay, well, this candidate that is taking this, maybe we want to throw some monkey among his pigeons, and then they unleash him into the atmosphere while monitoring him. You know, and then we see the conflict going on between him and the candidate. Want to see whether the candidate will actually, that's Obi, will actually say something against Kanu, or that Kanu will say something against the Obi, will keep quiet. It will be a very interesting drama that might unfold. But it all depends on what the federal government does. The federal government says, well, we want to hold him down, we want to appeal and keep him there, which may be what they will do. But if they want to be more adventurous, they could take the other option and unleash him to the political space.
Absolutely.
and give Obi a lot of headache.
Absolutely. But whichever way we look at this, the government has to be cautious of whatever they do to him. How? Because of the reaction we have seen in the Southeast with the sit at home and all of that, asking for his release. Although there have been jubilation. They have
dealt with this kind of problems before. The federal government has not dealt with these problems before. So it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. But we must be conscious because there have been reactions to all of that.
There will always be reactions.
But the government has to be cautious, whichever way it is.
It depends on what the federal government's
intends to do.
The design is.
At the end of the day.
If they feel that this fellow still has to answer to some of the treasonable felony charges,
right,
then they probably will say, okay, let us release him and now start
all over again.
Start the main, go back to the main
issues.
dish. Yes. Yeah.